Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Meet Praneet. In today's video, we are going to see how many green cards were allotted in 2022 for 4 main countries. These are the countries that you generally see on the visa bulletin for retrogression, like China, India, Philippines, and Mexico. And today we are going to see what exactly was the breakdown of green cards in terms of family-based, employment-based, and the total number that was allotted to all these different countries. And we'll also see the total number across top 200 countries that uscis has listed out. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the numbers. So if I start with the top 200 countries, the total number of green cards given in the year 2022 was 660,000. Now, one must be imagining that, well, there are only two set of green cards being given, right? 226,000 for family-based and 140,000 for the employment-based. So how this number get to 660,000? So the reason is that there was a lot of spillover, or I would say extra green cards being spilled over because of COVID. And that's why the number of green cards given in 2022 was way higher when compared to other years. And I think this is why there will be another video that I'll be doing where I'll compare the stats with previous years so that you'll get a better idea of how this spillover works and how many extra green cards were there in 2022. But before we start, I also want to tell you that you will be surprised by the numbers that have been allotted or the number of green cards being approved in 2022. So as I said, the total number of green cards given in 2022 was 660,000. That's a huge number. Out of that, India got 109,000 green cards. China got 52,000 green cards. Mexico got 95,000 green cards, and Philippines got 26,000. So you must be surprised, like why Mexico is getting so many green cards, because Mexico is not the retrogressed or the most retrogressed country. And I will tell you why that is happening, and you'll be shocked to see that number. So now the question comes, what is the total number of employment-based and family-based split from these numbers? And before we go into that, as you know that India is the most retrogressed country in the employment-based EB2 and EB3, I want to quickly tell you about the service that I offer in terms of EB1 consultation, where I help you understand EB1. So let's watch that and get back to the video in a second. Thank you for watching till here. I'll take a few moments from here to explain what I offer in the EB1 consulting service. So I have this service on discovereb1greencard.com where you can go ahead, set aside time and talk to me to explore EB1. Now, if specifically you are an Indian citizen who is stuck in the EB2 or EB3 line and you think you have acquired tons of experience, a professional experience in your field, in your niche, and you think it's time for you to know what EB1 is or how you can apply, then you should go ahead and set aside some time for us to talk. My aim in this call would be to help you understand the requirements, the conditions, and how you can fulfill the gaps to get to a strong EB1 profile. I have started this consulting service in 2023 April. Until now, I've almost helped more than 200 plus professionals. So why wait? Go on to the service. You can find the link in the description or it will be on the screen, and let's talk and let me help you discover EB1. Now let's get back to the video. Now coming back to the video, as you know, the total number of employment-based green cards given to all the countries in 2022 was 214,000, and that is around 32%. So I think that split makes sense because the number of green cards given in family-based is always higher and then compared to the employment-based. So 214,000 green cards given in employment-based in 2022 to all the countries. Now coming to India, you'll be surprised. The total number of green cards given in employment-based category to India is 86,000, close to 87,000. That comes to almost 80% of the green card from the total number of green cards given to India. Coming to China, that number was only 27,000, like almost 50% of what the total number was. Now coming to Mexico, it was only 5,000. That means only 6% of 95,000 given to Mexico. And Philippines got 13,000, which is around, again, 50,000 or half the total number of green cards given. So this brings to a very important information that India, being the most retrogressed, is getting a lot of numbers given to employment base. So there are two things to look here. First, most of the Indians that come to United States are either students or are working on H-1B or other kind of visas. And that's why the backlog in the employment-based category for India is really high. And that's why most of the green cards are given to India in employment-based category to fulfill the gap. Now, coming to China, we see that there is an equal split, or I would say that around 50% is given to employment and the family base. So that means there is an equal retrogression kind of seen for China. Coming to Mexico, it was very surprising, like only 6% for employment base, that most of the people from Mexico are applying for the family-based green card or are in the queue for the family-based green card. For Philippines, again, you can see that's a half of split. That means equal employment and the family-based green cards are being given. Now, coming to the family-based green card statistics, it's like 445,000 out of 660. That is almost 67 to 68% were given to the 200 top and 200 countries. And for India, that number was only 22,000. So 22,000 would be like around 20%. So only 20% were given to India in the family based. For China, it's about 24,000, around 48% or 48% in terms of total number. And for China, so for Mexico, it was 89,000. So 89,000, that means almost 94% of the green cards, as I said, were given to the Mexico. And for Philippines, it was 13,000, again, an equal split with the employment based. So these numbers tell two different things. First, India, being the most retrogressed country, is being held in the employment based category. China, on the other hand, is equally split, and Mexico is heavily dependent on the family based category. Philippines, again, is equally split. Now, coming to the rest of the world, as you know, EB1 is now current for rest of the world. That means more of the spillover from that should come to EB1. And hopefully EB1, which is right now at 2020 for India, should start to move forward. I think a lot of people message me on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or put it in the comments that when India would progress in EB1 category. I think the hope would all depend on number of green cards and how the distribution is being done. As from these numbers, you can get a sense that most of the green cards to India are coming from employment based. So the hope is that the EB1 category will start to move along with EB2 and EB3 as well. The EB3, EB2 will all depend on how much backlog you have, how many people are waiting in EB1, and how we can cover that backlog. So this was the video. I just wanted to quickly share these insights. I think these numbers are all publicly available. I'll put all the links in the description. So please do go and check out these numbers. And also, if you're watching from any other country, apart from these 4 countries, feel free that there are almost 200 countries listed in that sheet. Feel free to go check that out and see what was the number for your country for different categories. One thing to remind you that I'm not looking at the numbers for the diversity and for the asylum refugees or any other category apart from the family-based and the employment-based. So my main focus for this video was only family-based and the employment-based. So I hope this video was informational for you. It gave you an understanding of how the green card split. And as you know, even though the numbers are 7% for each country, India gets more than that for sure. And the reason is because it's the most retrogressed. As you know that I offer EB1 services, so please go check that out. And yeah, happy to talk to you, happy to help you fill the gaps. Yeah, see you in the next video very soon. Till then, take care and have a wonderful weekend.